Okay. Welcome everyone to the coffee talk tonight. Tonight's career that we'll be featuring is actually legal in the legal arena. Tonight we have three panelists: Li Huai, Kok Hao, and Chin Ling. Welcome to the talk tonight. Thank you for investing your time for the young people here. I would like to give you guys an opportunity to briefly introduce yourself. If you can tell us just something about you, something interesting.
Kok Hao.
Okay, who would like to start? Okay, maybe start with what secondary school you go to, which university you go to, and which law school did you graduate from? Maybe we start with Li Huai.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Li Huai. Okay, my secondary school is Choon Ling High School. And after that, I pursue my MLB in PTPL. It's a 2+1 program. And after that, on my last year, I graduated in Northumbria University. And after that, after my LLB, I took a course called CLB. That's something that is mandatory for someone who took their law degree, which is not from our Malaysia university. It's something mandatory for us to take it. Okay. So, yeah.
Thank you. Who would like to go next?
Me? I'm Chin Ling. I'm a Butterworth girl. I'm from Penang. My secondary school was St. Mark's Secondary School. What's interesting about the school is that this is the school where, you know, those rejected students go. One will go to Chin Ling High School, convent, and yeah. So I worship in Georgetown Baptist Church. After my secondary school, I studied in Kemayan ATC for my law degree from University of London, external program. Then I did my CLP as well. CLP is Certificate of Legal Practice. I did that in Brickfields College in KL. Yeah, then after that, I started my chambering or pupillage period in this firm that I'm working in now. Yeah.
What firm are you working in now? Okay. Kok Hao?
Hi everyone, my name is Kok Hao. I'm also from Choon Ling High School. So back then I was a student leader as well. I was very active in the Boys Brigade Ministry. Not sure whether you have it in this church as well. So thereafter, I completed my LLE program with the University of London external program. So I did it with same with Chin Ling, it's the Kemayan ATC College in Penang. And after that, all of us have to sit for a professional paper, what we call the Certificate of Legal Practice, which is CLP. So then I joined Online Malaysia, and yeah, I'm there until now. So some interesting fact about myself, I actually have 11 fingers, you can see.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but I'm not good with maths, even though with 11 fingers, so I decided to do law.
I think that's why you have 11 fingers, so you always get confused. Always have one extra number.
Yeah, that may be the reason.
Okay, thank you everyone. Now I guess quite interesting. So two of you Choon Ling, and is your law firm a lot of people from Choon Ling? I know Li Kai is also from Choon Ling.
Yep.
I think three of us is from Choon Ling. Li Kai, me, and Kok Hao.
Okay.
Three of us also, our surname is Lee. So there was
yeah,
a joke
are you related
that,
at all?
No.
That's a rule, you know.
You
don't have a surname of Lee, you can't enter the company for boys.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talk about Li Kai a lot. Li Kai, how would you describe Li Kai? Who is he? at your law firm?
Lee Kai is our senior partner. He was my master. After we completed our CLP certificate of legal practice, you had to do 9 months chambering. I was his first pupil.
Okay. Now we talk about Lee Kai. I would like to play a video of Lee Kai to start off our evening. Okay, you bear with me for a second. Okay, this person is Lee Kai.
And the lawyer were arguing about which profession was the oldest.
Hang on, let me start again.
A surgeon, an engineer, and a lawyer were arguing about which profession was the oldest. The doctor said, well, on the 5th day of creation, God took a rib from Adam, so surgery is the oldest profession. The engineer said, but before that, God created the heavens and the earth from chaos, so engineering has to be the oldest profession. Then the lawyer said, yes, that's true, but who created the chaos? People like to tell lawyer jokes. Me too. I actually collect them. People seem to love to hate lawyers. But I think that's more in the West. In Malaysia, people generally respect lawyers. It is actually called an honorable profession. Lawyers are in a position to make the society we live in a better one. It has steep traditions in fighting for the poor, for justice, and setting right the wrong. Lawyers and judges are called to protect justice without fear or favor. A good government promises to take care of its citizens from the cradle to the grave, while the law would affect the life of a person before the cradle and after the grave. In a sense, everything in our life is affected by the law. Thus, the legal profession is a very wide one. As a lawyer in Malaysia, you are called an advocate and solicitor. Basically, an advocate is a lawyer who goes to court, and a solicitor is someone who handles non-court matters, from property to corporate matters, from contracts to trusts, from the land to the sea and sky to the virtual world. Whenever, wherever you need to regulate relationships, you need lawyers. Law is all about relationships. If you like dealing with people, then law is for you. When I say relationship, everything in life revolves around a relationship. Criminal law protects human relationship. When you deal with a company, it is also about relationship. There are always people behind things, and law regulates that relationship. Life is about relationship. You cannot avoid it. You actually need it. So learn how to handle relationships and embrace them. Relationship can hurt you and disappoint you. But you know what? The most fulfilling things in life is having good relationships. Harvard University ran the world's longest research project. It is now running for more than 80 years. It is called the Harvard Study of Adult Development. It is ongoing, and it's the world's longest studies of adult life, having started in 1938 during the Great Depression. The research has shown that the people who fared the best in life were the people who leaned into relationships with family, with friends, with the community. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was in Form 4. I was a science stream student. Even when I did my A-levels in Singapore, I took triple science, biology, physics, chemistry. When I applied to study law in England, the admission officer, after accepting me, actually told me that they prefer to have science students studying law. Law is a science. It is quite scientific in its approach. Some students have the misconception that you have to be able to memorize things well to study law. That's not true. Understanding what you are learning is more important. It is actually the same for all studies. Understanding is way more important than memorizing. Law is so wide, you can't possibly know every little detail of everything. As a lawyer, you are trained to know how and where to find the answer to an issue. I have a philosophy in life, that is to know a few things about everything and know everything about a few things. So rather than being a jack of all trades, master of none. Each of us should be a jack of all trades, master of some. You ask me anything about law, I would have some ideas about it. You ask me about certain subjects of the law, I will have everything on my fingertips. That is a very useful attitude in life, not only in my legal career, but in all other things I do. Yes, when you become a lawyer, other than practicing law, you should also have some other areas of interest. My passion is in fine art. I'm not an artist, I don't paint, but I read up about art. I write about art. I curate art exhibitions and I collect art. The other thing I learned in my life is that I don't compartmentalize my life. I'm a lawyer, I'm an art lover, I'm an elder of my church, I'm involved in various charities, I'm a husband, and I'm a father. I'm all that at the same time, and I find that each role I play complements the others. I also learned that I have time. I think it is an attitude issue more than anything else. Many will say, I'm busy, I don't have time for this and that. You know what? You have time. It is just how you choose to use your time. One other important attitude to have in life is to strive for excellence. Don't try to be a perfectionist, that will bear you down and make you inefficient. But strive for excellence. Always try to do things better and faster, be more efficient. I like how the famous Chinese writer Liang Qicao in 1922 summarized the Chinese classical teachings on work. That is, 敬业, 乐业. That is to respect your job and have joy doing your work. You owe that to God, to people around you, and to yourself. One other thing, law is a very useful degree. Even if you don't intend to be a practicing lawyer, a law degree is very useful. With a law degree, you can go into many different careers. In fact, in the West, only a small percentage of law graduates end up being a practicing lawyer. Many lawyers would discourage others from taking up a law degree. Maybe they don't enjoy their work or they don't think they're earning enough. In that sense, every profession is the same. You have that same feeling sometimes in your career, whatever career you are in. To excel in what you do, I advise that we inculcate these attitudes. Life is all about relationships. Know a few things about everything and know everything about a few things. Don't compartmentalize your life. Respect your job and have joy doing your work. Strive for excellence. You've got time.
Okay, thank you, Li Kai. Oh, who is watching football? Can you mute yourself?
Yeah, I didn't miss it on purpose, to be honest, but I short-armed it, and Mommy made a great tip out.
And it caromed a little far, and that's where I thought.
Hi guys, someone's computer is playing football. I can hear you.
I thought you went too far, so I was feeling a little, sad. I was gonna grab my head. When I put my head up.
Hey Caleb, I think maybe you
Little man.
your video.
I didn't know what to do. I mean, I just tried to get the ball as fast as I could, and hopefully we could get up a shot.
Kihei gets the ball, and I'm screaming for it. I'm like, Kihei.
Guys, someone.
I'm right to his left at the half-court line, and looks me off. Ty's on the right side, closer to the bench, and he's Kihei. Yeah,
I'm grabbing an ad or something from Facebook, maybe.
Oh, maybe it's me. Hang on.
Yeah, you didn't pause your video, I think.
I paused my video. Maybe play in the background. Is that gone?
Yes.
Okay, so it's me. Sorry. Okay. I hope the video by Uncle Li Kai inspired you. So I think he summarized what it means to be a lawyer really well. Maybe after you listen to him, some of you here may want to be lawyer. Yeah. If that's the case, if you would like to talk to any of these panelists about exploring this, or even talk to Li Kai, let me know. I can connect you with them. Okay. After this call. So Now, I would like to ask the panelists to share how they end up choosing law as their profession. Okay, so how you end up choosing law as your profession. Maybe ladies first, huh?
Okay, maybe I share a little bit of my family background, then it'll be easier for me to to share. So I grew up in a broken family. When I was quite small, my dad he left us and he had another family. So my siblings and my mom, she had to raise us up when we were young. So I kind of like grew up in an environment where I felt neglected, and then I slowly became very low self-esteem, very timid, very pessimistic. I didn't know how to love others because I was not born a Christian. So I became very selfish, rebellious. I had a broken relationship with my parents, and then growing up in this kind of environment, I had to learn to do a lot of things on my own. I slowly became very independent, very strong-willed, very goal-oriented. Slowly became self-contained. I remember when I was in secondary school, I think about Form 5, one day my mother asked me, she asked me, if let's say one day when my dad passed away, what will happen to our house? Will the other family come and say that they want to share the house, or they will chase us out, or like this kind of question at the age of 14, 15, I think it was very, very serious question to me that I felt a bit lost because I don't know how to answer. I don't know, that question really impacted me, that I thought, okay, I think I better become a lawyer so that I can protect my mother. That was what in my mind. But then I also don't know why, since smaller, I think as young as standard primary school, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I don't know why. But that question from my mother really impacted me a lot. Even though I was kind of like a lazy student, but I just told myself that, hey, I have this sense that I must protect my mom, you know. That's how I think, that's how I chose law. Yeah.
Fantastic. So lawyer is a protector, huh? Good. Okay. Li Huai, do you want to go next?
I before I'm starting A level, I did not know what I wanted to do. So it's just that one of the subjects that I took in A level is law. Then after that, after I study, only I fell in love with law. It's like a lot of the problem solving. I like to solve problems. That's exactly what the lawyer do. So after that, even for A level, I just follow my friends who and take up the law degree. And yeah, after that, it's just that I just fell in love with law, that I like how to solve the problem. And yeah, law make us open our eyes, open our world, and see that, oh, there's a lot of things that we do not know. That a lot of things that we can actually learn, we can actually explore. That's how I fell in love with law, and I wanted to become a lawyer. That's from A level. But before that, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Great. So now we learned that lawyer, other than being a protector, is also a problem solver. Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And the way you ended up in law is because you got exposed to
I got exposed
to the law, and then you fell in love with the subject. Okay, because it can help solve a lot of problems. Okay. How about Kok Hao?
Hi. I think like many of the young people here, when I was in my high school, I wasn't sure what I want to do. So I have even contemplated medicine as well. But then I narrowed it down either to law or business. Back then when I was in high school, I did pretty well for my history subject. Like I could be the top in the class.
Uh,
Many of my friends were like 20, 10, I'll be like 40, 50, or even like I pass the history subject. So back then it's sort of, there's a seat there. There was, people say, oh, you did well in history, you could be a lawyer. So slowly thereafter, I realized that I'm quite interested in politics development in Malaysia. I'm also interested, of course, in history. I like to engage in intellectual discussion, and also like what Huai had shared, I like problem solving as well. So I think with all this interests, law seems to be a good fit to me. So I decided to be law.
okay, thank you, Kok Hao. So problem solver, protector, and politician, huh? So I guess law, as Lee Kai said, can be applied to a lot of different fields and can be related and is everywhere. Huh? Okay, good. Well, that is fantastic. But I want to go to a slightly more mundane thing, like what exactly do you do when you wake up in the morning and you go into the office? What exactly do you do day to day? I assume sometimes you even have to work past, you have to take work home. So as a lawyer practicing in a law firm, what do you do every day? Who would like to take that on? And what are the working hours like?
Mostly what we're doing is we do a lot of research, we do a lot of reading, we do a lot of drafting, and yeah, our working hour is now for us is 9 to 7 or 8. If there is some urgent deadline that we have to meet, then it might be go beyond that. So yeah.
Okay. The other two, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with what you have shared. So I think being a lawyer, first of all, you need to have a, how to put it, you need to source a good coffee bean. You need you need to focus for the whole day. So basically it depends a lot what you are practicing. So 3 of us are practicing litigation. So litigation is not what you see in the drama that you go to court every single day and argue. A lot of work is actually done in the office. A lot of preparation work, like you have shared. You do a lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of strategy thinking, a lot of office work, a lot of paperwork, drafting, etc. So that's why it's very tedious. It took a lot of time to complete everything so that we get ready for the court matters.
Okay.
I think Jenny can add on.
Yeah, don't watch too much of those Hong Kong drama. It is very different in practice. Our working hours, the official working hour is 8:30 to 5:30. And then, of course, it is flexible. Flexible means you can work beyond that. Well, when I started my pupillage, the 9 months and the first few years of practice, I spent a lot of time in the office. That it's not because of by my boss's request, but because I wanted to learn as much as I can. I spent a lot of time in the library. I could work alone until 12 a.m. in the office, and weekends also I would be in the office to do my work, to read up. While these 2 gentlemen, they are also doing the same thing now. They also work very hard. So what I can add to what we do in the office is that we also have to answer a lot of phone calls. Clients, they will call during office hour. So a lot of time we can only start our paperwork, our drafting after office hour. And during office hour, we have to meet clients, you have to attend to our staff, you have to have meetings and all that. Yeah, so that's basically what we do. And then if you have court cases, you have to be in court before 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sounds like a lot of things, different things you do, you have to juggle, is talking to people, is looking at paperworks, drafting paperworks, a lot of different skill set you need to have. Not just because you're good at history, you should study law, huh?
Yeah, actually, practice I realized that one of the hardest things to handle is that dealing with people, people can be okay. You have to manage your staff. You have to you have to work well with your colleagues, with your opponent, the lawyer for the other party. You have to deal with judges. You have to deal with interpreters.
Mhm.
Clients can be very challenging as well. So human relationship that is very challenging. What I see is today a lot of young lawyers or our juniors, I can see that they find it challenging to manage human relationship. This is this is something that we don't learn in college, we don't learn in school, but we learn in practice.
Okay, great. So let me ask you guys this question. What do you enjoy most about your work? And what do you hate most but have to endure? Don't tell me you love every aspect of your work.
No.
Oh, well.
So what do you enjoy most and what do you hate most but have to endure?
What I enjoy the most is the process from you don't know the answer until you find out the answer and use the answer to help the client to win the case.
Discovery process, huh?
Yes, the whole process. I enjoyed it. And at the same time, it's something very tedious. The research, the reading is also very tiring. But then you will have a very fruitful process. That's also what I like and dislike.
So the process you like and also dislike because it's tedious.
Yes, but
sense of accomplishment when you find it.
The sense of accomplishment is
Good. How about the other two?
Yeah, I think same with Huai. I think for me, I find satisfaction for being able to come up with a solution for my client and to be able to assist them to sort out whatever matters at hand. We lawyers always joke around ourselves that when before our client come to us, they are restless, they have insomnia because of the legal issue they are facing. So once they come to us, we become restless and we have the insomnia because we have to come up with a solution to their problem. So yeah, it's kind of responsibility, but also the joy in it when you're able to help your client.
You're also a doctor, huh?
Yes, sort of.
Psychiatrist, doctor.
Okay, yes. Counselor, we call it. So what I hate most would be, I think dealing with the bureaucracies. I think in Malaysia, you have to deal with a lot of government authorities and different government authorities may come up with different direction, different answers to your question. So you have to navigate that and to find the proper way to do things and to help a client. That I think is the most hate lah, in short.
Okay. No one said they hate most is dealing with Lee Kai, huh? But must endure.
We find so much joy in it.
You must realize that this is a recorded conversation.
Even if it's a recommendation, we're telling the truth.
All this will be used against us. What I enjoy most about my work is that, just like what Lee Huai and Kok Hao shared, when clients come to us, they give us all the issues, all the problems, and then we have to help them to solve their problem. That is that is part of my joy as well. When they come to us and then there are things that we can help them to solve or even educate them. Sometimes client will come and tell you that, hey, my friend say this, for example, if let's say my husband passed away, government will come and take our property if you don't do anything, then all the asset will be gone. These are all the wrong ideas. I don't know where they got this from. So part of our job also, we have to educate them so that they don't go around and tell their friends about what their friend told them.
So you're also a teacher, as a lawyer.
To educate them, and the joy also come when when we really put our hearts in solving clients' problem, the outcome of the case, when we help them to either settle, even if we don't go for trial, we settle the case out of court settlement. That I also feel very joyful that when parties can resolve their matter amicably, and also when we depend on God to handle the challenging file. And we really can see that God's hands are always there when we really depend on God in our work. What I hate the most is I very don't like when client they say that, hey, why is this file so slow? You all have not been doing anything. Then I will bring out the file and show them how thick the file is and how can you say that we are not doing anything. It is not fair.
Right.
And I sometimes I will feel upset if, let's say, I see my colleagues who sometimes we are human beings, we do mistake, but must do our work, try to do our work with excellency. So when I see they're being too careless, and I'll get upset. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you bring up a good point that I want to segue into, which is you talk about your belief that you see hands of God at work. Question for the three of you. I believe all three of you are Christian, believers. Were you Christian before you to go into law, or after? Very simple. Before or after? Before, raise your hand. After? Okay. So we have good mix. Very good, very good. Let me ask you guys a question. How easy or difficult is it to be a Christian and also a lawyer? Easy, difficult?
Challenging.
Challenging, okay.
Yep.
You all agree? Challenging to be a Christian and a lawyer? Why is that? Why do you say it's challenging?
Well, I feel that okay, first I talk about temptation. Temptation is there. Because I started started serious about God with it was during my college time, where I learned to pray, learn about the teaching of God. But I was still very I was just exposed to the church and not a believer. Not a believer yet lah. So I became more matured after I think after I joined this firm, where Li Kai encouraged me to attend BSF and all that. So the first few years of practice, there were always this job offer that they provide, they offered better benefits and all that, and better perks that at that time I told myself that, okay, I compare if I go and I leave this firm, I know that maybe I will leave God behind, because I stay in this firm and I know that there were Christians around me who can help me in my spiritual walk. That was one of the challenges that I faced in my early practice years. But I thank God that I didn't leave. Of course, I do feel God along this year. Sometimes I feel God and all that, but I was thankful that I didn't leave, and because the temptations were always there. And when it comes to clients, you will have clients who will give you funny ideas. Like sometimes, client will say, hey, why is this authority so slow? Why don't you all pay them and ask them to approve the things faster and things like that? So this is also, as a believer, this is not something that will please God. Like when client asks you to do things that you know you are not supposed to do. Or I have clients who say that, let's say, okay, one of the example that I quoted is the estate father. Let's say the father passed away, and then some of the children come and say, I don't want to let my brother know. I just want to go and apply and settle and distribute the asset. How can we do that, right? This is so wrong. So there will be people out there who are willing to do that. There will be lawyers who are willing to do that. Yeah. You're muted.
Just a raise of hand among the three of you. How many of you have faced a situation, a case or something that you're working on, that your moral and your belief is being tested? Raise your hand if you have faced that.
Yeah, I think this is,
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess only one of you have a client that asks you to potentially do something outside of what you think you're supposed to.
I think certain things can be very, very subtle. Like for example, I throughout the practice there will be friends who say, hey, why don't you draft this for me, and then you don't have to let your firm know, and I just pay you and your side income. But to us this is stealing, right? From
Yeah.
the firm. Yeah. So
Okay.
I've never, yeah.
Because for me, it's easy to be a Christian and lawyer at the same time, because for our firm, the environment is our partners is Ikai, and he is a Christian, and he always support us to do the right thing. So when I tell him the situation, then usually the answer that he give me it will be the right one. Then so it's easy for me to be a Christian and lawyer at the same time, because I'm in this in the Christian environment. So
Okay. So where you are and who you're practicing law with have a big influence on the challenges and the trials that you may and temptation that you may face. Correct?
yes.
Yeah. Kok Hao, how about you?
Yeah, to add on what Huai and me have shared, I think we are really blessed because we are under a Christian mentor, a Christian boss. Therefore, we have sort of a better environment compared to others. But to add on what they have shared, I think another challenging part as a Christian lawyer is how you bear good testimony to everyone. In like what Lika have shared earlier on, in law, it's basically dealing with relationship with your clients, relationship with the court staff, relationship with your colleagues and so on. So because in law, it's sort of a very intense practice because you have deadlines to meet. You have a lot of things that you juggle, and there are times where when the court is not corporate, or when your staff cannot deliver up to your expectation, how you react to it, how you handle it, and that is also itself a part that we have to play. We have to also to show that we are different to that extent.
I would like to add that yeah, the environment of the office is very important. That will influence us also, but I think it is also very important that we have a very good personal relationship with God, because that will keep us within the radar of God. So wherever you are, even if you are not surrounded by Christian bosses, you will still know that, to depend on God and what to do. If let's say our bosses are not Christians, then what do I do?
Right.
Does it mean I don't know what to do anymore?
Right. I guess at least you wouldn't have bosses that force you to compromise your values or your belief, right? If you work for some other lawyers that is not a believer, then there may be that chance that you are proposing something for a client that he may have a different idea, but
Yep.
he insists on you doing. Then you may have a dilemma.
Yep.
Do you submit to your boss, or do you stand firm, right? But I guess because you guys are in an environment that doesn't have that, that's why you have this question. I can get paid more somewhere else, but you decided to stay. Is that one of the reason?
Yeah, but having said that also, when you do things that please God, right? God will bless you.
Right.
You be patient and wait for God's plan.
Correct. Great. Let me ask you a question. As a, can you share a time in your work where you actually have a chance, an opportunity to share your faith with I don't know, client, co-workers, even the clerk at the at the court. Anyone have any example?
I can share from
Huh?
I have colleagues who like to tell me about their problems. So when I see there is a chance, I will share with them my faith. Like I will share with them, I also have a lot of tons of family problems that I have to attend to. And I will share with them if the facts are similar to my situation. I'll teach them how to pray, even though they are not believers. I prayed for them. I even prayed for my Muslim colleagues in the office before. I'll share with them my testimony, like, if my colleague, the Muslim colleague, shared with me how she had to take care of the father and all that. My dad also having the same problems I shared with him, like how I depend on God. There's no other way, other than depend on God. And then when it comes to, for example, clients who come and ask for advice for divorce, I would also share with them my experience, like I grew up in a broken family, how it affected me. And I encourage them to try counseling before they take that path.
Okay. How about the other two of you? And any opportunity that you can share?
I think to add on to what Chin Ling have shared, I think because we did spend most of the time in the office, so basically your colleagues is those who have an opportunity to share gospel with. I think in our department, we have about 6 litigation lawyers, 6 full litigation lawyers, and out of the 6, 4 is Christian. So we'll try to cultivate a sort of a Christian environment. And at the same time, when there's an environment, we can talk about our faith and how God has impacted our life, or how God has blessed our life to them, and help them to see that there's goodness of God in our life in it.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing to add on from my side.
Okay,
Because
actually,
we are colleagues.
Actually, I want to ask Auntie Rina. Auntie Rina, I know you practiced law for a period of time. Have you had a situation? Were you a believer then?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Were you in a similar work environment as these 3 young person?
No, actually, when I worked for a couple of firms. I was the only Christian in that firm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it challenging?
Yes, it is. I did have very good bosses. They taught me a lot. They taught me well. Even though my bosses were not Christians, but they were people with good values. They were the old timers. They won't cross the line. So it wasn't difficult for me to also stay true to the path. Yeah, but yes, I also had clients who, as what Chin Ling has said, why don't you just give a bit of under table money and quickly get the document stamped, or quickly get it extracted from court. Yeah, there was all those temptations, but my bosses at that time were very good, and they said no, we will do it properly and take the correct steps. So it was okay for me. Yeah, I had a very good working environment.
So you never faced a challenging situation where you were forced to compromise your...
Actually, there was one time
Okay.
which I had to. Because we were actually out of time, almost out of time to file in a court of appeal documents. We were actually appealing to the court of appeal, and a lot of this particular client came from another firm, and a lot of documents were missing, and we needed to get it from court, and it was taking a long time to get from court. So we have office boys who've got a lot of contact with the court staff. Yeah, so they were actually able to extract the court documents from court in order for us to file the appeal. Yeah, so there was the one infraction which till today I still remember so clearly, and it still haunts me, and I've asked God to forgive me for doing that one thing. I believe God has forgiven me, but it's something that I've never forgotten. So I would, if I could go back in time, I don't know. I guess I would have done it and probably get a lot of shelling from my boss, and the clients will be very unhappy because they're out of time to file in. But I guess that would have
You may be replaced.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that was something that happened. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rina. Sorry for opening up your old wounds.
No old ones. I'm at peace. I've settled it.
Suhin treated you well, huh?
Yes.
A lot of painkiller.
For those of you that doesn't know, Uncle Suhin, he's actually doctor. So and a special kind of doctor that takes away your pain.
I'm 1 year senior to Li Kai in secondary school. I knew him from those days in scouting.
Was he the righteous type that should be lawyer or?
Yeah, he's quite serious lah, maybe. Yeah, he's quite serious.
Okay, we have quite a bunch of good questions. Would like to open up to the floor. If you have any particular question you want to ask these people. Young men and young ladies, any question? None of you want to ask how easy or how difficult to pass law exam?
Maybe after listening to us, they don't want to study law anymore.
Did all three of you study law from locally, in Malaysia?
Except Li Huai.
Okay. Where did you go to study law?
I studied in Northumbria University in Newcastle.
Newcastle, huh? Yeah. Is there a difference between studying law in locally and overseas? Is it easy? One is easier or harder? Auntie Rina, where do you study law?
Actually, I did it at ATC too, but I did mine in KL. The same, I think, with Chin Ling, right? Chin Ling and Kok Hao, you all did it at Kemayan ATC. Yeah, I also did it at ATC, but that was a long time ago lah.
What is ATC? Sorry.
Advanced Tertiary College, I think. ATC. Yeah.
Kemayan ATC.
Yeah, but when I was studying there, it was not Kemayan yet.
Oh.
So that is like that's kind of like a district college or Taylor College, one of the college. Of the college. Yeah.
They specialize in law.
Okay.
We have a question from the floor.
Okay.
How did you decide what branch of law you wanted to pursue?
If you're talking about the subjects during our LLB degree, during my time, there were compulsory subjects that we have to take, and then there were additional subjects that you have an option to choose. If you're talking about which area of law you choose to practice after you started your practice, I think during my chambering time, I was asked whether I want to do litigation or conveyancing. I wasn't sure, so I told my master and the partners that, can I try both? I mean, how can you ask me to choose before I even try, right? I don't even know which one I like. So I mean, one good thing about this firm is that they are open for it. I could try both, and then at the end I said, okay, I want to continue to learn both. So that's why I'm still doing litigation and conveyancing lah.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about which law subject, even in your practice where you want to specialize in, I think when you are in practice, you can always expose and try to take up the challenge and see if you really like that area of law, and then you pursue. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Auntie Janice, Kok Hao has. Can you refeature Kok Hao? Yeah. Okay. So just clarification question. When you're studying law, you study all aspect of law, basically, but then you have some elective, but you don't really have to specialize then, right? Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. And after you finish, when you start working, you basically have two general paths, right?
Yep.
Is that what are the two?
Litigation, conveyancing, or corporate work lah.
Three lah, huh? Okay.
Can you, for the benefit of the young people here, can you explain what is litigation, what is conveyancing, and what is corporate?
Okay. Litigation, if civil litigation is where you go to court. Civil litigation, it's suits between private parties. Criminal litigation is where you are being charged in court by the government, criminal offense. Conveyancing is where you draft agreements, you prepare, let's say, for example, you're buying a property, you need a sale and purchase agreement. If you want to do business, you do a shareholders agreement, drafting of agreement. Yeah, corporate work will be you advise client companies for business matters, company listing, corporate loans. Yeah, you also draft agreements. Yeah.
You can also be a lawyer in a company, right?
Can.
Because
Yes.
some company do have a legal department.
Yes, some people they just try out. They try practice for a few years and they feel like, okay, maybe this is too stressful for me. Maybe I want to join a company,
right?
Join the legal department. It's doable. Yeah.
Right. I guess depend on what countries. Certain countries like US have more specialization, right? They have different. They may have patent lawyers. They may have specialized in pharmaceutical area, specialized in finance. In Malaysia, they tend to be more general. Is that fair?
There are also many firms who specialize in certain areas. I mean, after you complete your chambering period, if let's say you are very sure of the direction that you want to go forward, let's say you're interested in tax law, you can go to a bigger firm who specialize in tax law. There are firms like that, patent, IP, intellectual property. There are firms who specialize in certain areas.
Okay. So even in Malaysia. Okay, great. Okay. Any more question from the floor?
No.
I just want to add that if let's say, for example, you didn't choose, let's say you didn't choose intellectual property during your LLB program, you can still practice, after you graduate in your practice, because you can always pick up and learn, because we are still learning every day. It's not like after you graduate, you already know everything under the sun. No, it's not like that. We are still learning every day. So don't get discouraged, if let's say you find out that, okay, I don't like this area, but then I would like to venture into other subjects. You can do it.
Right. So is it fair to say that when you study law, you're trained to think a certain way, and you're trained to research a certain way, and you're trained to problem solve in a certain way, and that's what you learn? Is that fair to say that, more than just all the accumulation of knowledge?
Yeah, we have to always think out of the box.
Okay, any more question from the floor?
There's a question from Jonathan.
Okay. Is Bahasa Malayu a mandatory subject in order to practice law in Malaysia?
The answer would be yes. It's a mandatory subject. If you some of my batchmates, they did what you call the Tuzhong in schools. They don't have BM subject, so they have to sit for a separate paper in order for them to qualify or to participate in the legal practice.
So even if you don't study Bahasa, you can still sit for a separate paper?
Yes, a separate paper to basically to check your proficiency in Bahasa Malayu in short.
Right.
Because the official language for the court documents are in Bahasa Malaysia.
So you really need Bahasa, huh?
sorry, what about in court right now, in the magistrate sessions, high court? Is Bahasa the dominant language that you will need to argue your cases?
For the court papers, the course papers, of course, you prepare in Bahasa, you can have a translation in English. But I think for lower courts like magistrate courts and sessions court, the judges, they prefer Bahasa, but high court judges or court of appeal, they are more flexible. Yeah, you can still speak English with permission. So far, I mean, I've not met a magistrate or a sessions court judge to say that, hey, please speak in Bahasa, but there are judges who will do that to lawyers.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. If you don't have Bahasa, is it possible at all to still practice? I mean, do law in Malaysia? Can you be like an American lawyer? Because you study in America, but you deal with a US company here. Possible?
You mean to be in practice or not in practice? To practice as a lawyer or
No, just I guess you can be an international lawyer, right?
It depends. For example, let's say you're talking about the person wants to practice as a lawyer in Singapore, then you will have to sit for their professional exam over there, or Hong Kong.
Right.
For their qualifying board exam.
Yeah,
but you can always because I think Bahasa is a compulsory subject if you want to sit for CLP exam in Malaysia. So if you don't have CLP, if you have your law degree, you can still work in a company or you work in a legal firm as a paralegal, not a practitioner.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is because I am in the financial sector when I was working back then. And I do, when even in Malaysia, sometimes I deal with lawyers here based in Malaysia, but they are actually not officially, I mean, they're not a lawyer. What do you call that?
Legal counsel for that company.
Right.
In their legal department, right?
Right. And sometimes because when you do international listing, those lawyers are not really using, they don't list in Malaysia, they list in New York Stock Exchange. So you do have those, but I think you are very limited to a very specialized area. Is that, and you cannot officially go to court, file any papers, but you can basically do other things that's relating to law, but you just can't.
It's just a paralegal, they call it.
Yeah. Okay. Any more question? Okay, if not, I think we will close. First of all, thank you to all three of you for taking the time. This is very useful, very helpful, I believe, to all the young men and women here. If any one of you have any further question, if you want to connect with any of the panelists, let me know. I do have their contact details. I can connect you with them. I'm sure if you would like to maybe go into the office and see what they do, maybe they will allow you to, I think, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so they can do a bit of an internship because many of them are leaving schools. They could come in and, help out, follow somebody around.
Yeah, just to see what is, get a feel of what being a lawyer is. I think they are probably willing to take you in. Let me know if you have interest, and I can connect you with them. Okay, so thank you. We'll close our session tonight. Auntie Janice, can you stop recording? And then before we all leave, I just want to pray.